to your ever-creating goodness. This day, give us ears to hear and eyes to see all the ways that your goodness is moving amongst us here at Lanier Village. And then give us the courage, Lord, to receive these gifts and to give you praise. We offer these prayers back to you in your name. Amen. Okay. Elizabeth Murphy will have next from the foundation.
You really want me to go up there?
He was?
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. If I would have known I was going to be on the stage, I would have prepared a solo today. But, I'm Elizabeth Murphy. I'm the Mid-South Director for Acts Legacy Foundation. And for those of you who don't know me or about the foundation, you can visit our website, actslegacyfoundation.org, for more information. Is there a
The
slide?
clicker or the arrow?
I'm sorry?
Clicker or the arrow on the...
Okay. Did I do the wrong? This way? Where do I aim it? Here?
Or just use the computer arrow.
Voila.
There we go.
Can you see it? Yeah. Oh, there we are. Okay. All right. So the foundation is the charitable arm of ACTS. We are a nonprofit 501c3 organization, and I'm happy to facilitate your charitable giving that benefits Lanier Village Estates and in turn gives you a tax deduction. So if you have questions or if you'd like to make a donation to LVE, you can call me, you can email me. I have some informational flyers in the back along with my York peppermint patties. I always tell folks I'm originally from York, Pennsylvania, and so I bring a little bit of home with me when I'm on the road. And funny enough, I just bought a townhouse and moved to York, South Carolina. So I don't know, maybe it was serendipitous that took me there, serendipity. But anyway, so that's where I'm stationed now. So luckily I can still get York peppermint patties in many, many different locations. So please enjoy some if you're able to have one. But today I'm here to show you how generous y'all were in 2024. And you can see on the screen here that in 2024, Lanier Village Estates raised $146,951. So give yourselves a round of applause. That is fantastic. And I broke it down so you could see which funds your donations went to. You can see the Samaritan Fund brought in over $105,000, Spiritual Life $27,000, Willowbrook Court over $6,000, Community Enrichment over $4,000, the Employee Scholarship Fund $1,500, Grounds and Gardens $1,000, Employee Enrichment Fund $900, and Memory Support Services $130. So these fund balances for the year, for the first quarter actually, are on the table. I printed copies if you'd like one. I always provide a quarterly report to Scott and to Sharon, your resident association president, and I need to email you all that formal document now. I just got the okay to share that first quarter information, but those fund balances are available for you to see. It lists the current fund balances, the funds that were used, and the funds that are available. And we're always happy to share that information with you. And I wanted to also share some of the products and services that were purchased with your donations. So last year, with the Chapel Fund, there was new lighting. I believe that was upgraded, and also plans for the Chapel Garden project, some of the design plans for that. Through Community Enrichment, water dispensing stations were purchased. And through the Scholarship Fund, over $18,000 was given out. $40,000 was awarded, so some of that was paid this year. And that is a new fund that was set up from a very generous stock gift from Andy and Juliet Cartagena Labor. And just wanted to mention that applications are available for team members this year. The applications are due May 15th. Please encourage your team members to apply. It's free money. All they have to do, they have to fill out the application process. There is an essay that they have to fill out, an application process. They have to be recommended by their supervisor. But if they submit everything that is asked for, then they basically are approved to receive scholarship funds. So please encourage them to do so. We also, I have some of these flyers in the back. We also created a QR code so that would take them to the online application so that they could apply from their phone, which, you know, the younger generation likes to do. So please encourage your team members, your residents, your favorite team members to apply for the scholarship funds here at Lanier. Also, music therapy classes were used from the Music Therapy Fund, from Spiritual Life supplies, and charitable donations were made from that fund, and Dance for Joy from Willowbrook Court. Also, of course, the big amount was for the Samaritan Fund. $77,000 was used and the need for the Samaritan Fund last year. This year, the committee's goal is $1,000. Excuse me, I wish it were $100,000. And the annual Samaritan Fund breakfast fundraiser is this Saturday, as many of you know, and you've purchased your tickets. I'm sure you're looking forward to that event this Saturday. I believe there are 20 tickets left, somewhere around that. So if you are still interested in coming and haven't purchased your ticket yet, please see Ada Lou Horn, and you can still purchase a ticket for the brunch on Saturday. What else do I want to say? If you are interested in making a recurring gift to one of the funds here at Lanier, there is a form, and I have some of them in the back. There's a form for residents as well as team members, which you could have an automatic payroll deduction. And it could be as little as $5 a pay. So any amount adds up and counts. So we appreciate any donation to any of the funds here at Lanier. And we really appreciate all of your generosity for this year and last year. So thank you so much. And I'm your gal if you feel so moved to make a donation that benefits your home here. Thank you. And Duke is up next.
Okay, let's see how this works.
Use the computer.
All right, let's see how this works. There we go. It is so nice to see so many people filling this room up again. It is wonderful. So much life, and it's wonderful when we see it come together. So, good to be together today. A few updates for you today. First, the eyesight test, okay? What month does it say?
April.
I know. Yeah, it's small, but bear with me, I'll read for you. So, I just want to share with you about our Drazik series. How many of you went to at least one of the Drazik series sessions? Great. We set a record this year across every event that weekend. For at least 6.5 years that I've been looking at attendance. On Friday morning, we had 101 people. On Saturday morning, we had 99. On Saturday night, we had 113, and on Sunday night, we had 124 people. But what was really telling for me was after the Friday morning and Saturday morning sessions, we had 43 people stick around afterwards to explore questions with Don. Almost half of the people who came out. I mean, it was extraordinary, the engagement that we had with him. And somebody actually said to me, get somebody different next year and then have Don back the year after. He is amenable to that, and so I'll just put that out there as a teaser. But a lot of people have also asked about the possibility of a replay. So we are going to do a replay. And we'll have them over the next 4 weeks on the Wednesdays at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the chapel. So we'll play his first lecture on April 30th, which will go about 50 minutes. And then we'll have about 30 minutes where we're going to have people break into groups of 3 to 4 and just talk about what got their attention. So we'll do these on the 30th of April, the 7th of May, and then the 21st of May, all at 3 o'clock. The reason that we skip a week is because we're going to have our next Life in Quotes. How many of you have ever been to a Life in Quotes before? So a smaller group. We tend to get about 40 people at these, give or take. And we'll be looking at a quote from Don Besson from our Drazek series. So his quote says, "You have to, at some point, let go of the previous possibilities that are no longer possible to be able to eventually celebrate the life you have now." So I see eyebrows and faces going, which tells me that instantly grabs you. This is the kind of thing we do at Life in Quotes. We gather around large round tables of about 7 people at a table, and we share our common human experiences and our differences all around this kind of quote and how it touches us. So that will be on May 14th at 3:15 here in the auditorium. Lastly, we have the Gospel of Mark Bible study that has just begun, probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago now. And I want to say thank you to this core of teachers that have been coming together to offer our spring semester courses. Carl Ferguson, Brian and Joyce McCartney, Pat Johnson, Pauline Dorman, Marie Oakes have all offered their time and their passion for their subjects. And so those ministries were approved by Spiritual Life Committee and put out for the good of the community. So I'm really grateful for your efforts and sharing those with the community. Last thing that I would mention to you is this OBT prayer meeting that we have. I just came from one on the 3rd floor, and the courage and the strength that I hear in the reflection from these residents is extraordinary. We have on the 2nd floor of OBT, on the 1st and 3rd Wednesdays of the month, a prayer meeting that meets there. We normally have about 7 people. This afternoon, we did name that hymn, and we weave some reflection and testimony in that. And the times are just so incredible. The courage and the vulnerability to confront their limitations with hopefulness and honesty is extraordinary. So, if you'd like to come out and visit with us, you can do so on the 2nd floor, 1st and 3rd Wednesdays at 11 a.m., and then on the 3rd floor with Oak Bridge Terrace. We have, like today, we do that on the 2nd and 4th weeks of the month on the Thursdays. So 3 o'clock or 2:15 is that. So that's all I have for you. And next, I believe, is Stephen. So Stephen, come on down.
good afternoon. Oh, they're not kidding. It is a lot of you out here today. I'm going to go a little old school with some notes. I don't have any slides today, just a few quick things. I guess first and foremost, most of you are probably already aware, but the new car wash is open. It's at the Lake Path entrance. It's very nice. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you go check it out. It has a brand new pressure washer, a new vacuum, and an air compressor for your tires. It's pretty nice. There's some directions on the wall if you need. If you need any help, please let one of us know. We'll be happy to come give you a little tutorial if you need it. But it's fantastic. Go check it out. On that note, the old car wash that was previously at the loading dock is now closed. So don't try to wash your car there. It is no longer there. Everybody's favorite topic, landscaping. Let's talk a little bit about some irrigation. The audit, as most of you are aware, has been going on. Luckily this year we didn't have very much going on with the audit. It went very well. We had a couple of repairs that took place. I did upgrade one of the clocks that handles part of the east building. That clock's going to be replaced actually tomorrow, because I upgraded it so that it would be attached to the Wi-Fi and we can monitor it with the app that handles most of the other clocks. That will allow us to complete the final 21 zones that clock maintains over on the east building. That audit will be completed by the end of next week. Once that is done, we're going to begin the sod replant that we've been talking about for a little while now. Many of you have put work order requests in to have sod replaced. Most of it's just a little bit here and there, some larger areas than others. If you have some sod that you would like me to take a look at and you think may need to be replaced, please send me an email or give me a call. Let me know so that I can come check it out. We're going to be scheduling that probably in the next 3 weeks, certainly before the end of May, to get all that sod replanted. Let's see, the flower crew. The flower crew will be coming out next week to do the flower change out, but they will be here tomorrow to remove all the current flowers. So it's going to look a little rough for a couple of days, look a little bare. So just keep that in mind. Moving on, the East Cottages. So the East Cottages have had a little issue with some cabinets. Most of you, or many of you, may be aware. I'd like to give you an update now that I have some better information. I've been a little hesitant to share any information because I haven't had solid information. The gentleman from the cabinet company has been out over the last few days. He began the repair process. I think he's been to 7 houses now as of today, and then tomorrow he'll be out for 2 more houses. And that process, they're sending me the schedule on Thursday for the following week. So when Thursday gets here, I'll be making phone calls on Friday to the residents who will be scheduled for the following week. So you'll start getting phone calls Friday and Monday, but all depending on how much time I have to get in touch with you. You'll start getting those notifications on when they will be out to take care of your house. So that was good news that the process has started. I know it took a long time to get going, but they're finally getting moving on that. And then finally, I think Elizabeth touched on it a little bit about the Chapel Garden project, and some of the plans got started, the funds got used for the design phase. We're moving ahead rather quickly with that. We're going to be breaking ground on that project for the first phase of that here over the next couple of weeks. We got permits, they may have come through today actually, so if they're not here today, we should have permits tomorrow. You're going to see some construction fencing going up. In the OBT parking lot, you'll see dumpsters and some porta-johns probably located over the next week. And then demolition will begin over the next 2 weeks. And you're going to see some construction probably start taking place over the next 4 months, give or take. So that Chapel Garden project will start, and it's gonna take about 3.5 months. It's gonna look great. I think you're gonna enjoy that one, but prepare for a little bit of construction while we get underway. I'll put some signage up, and if you have any questions about that, please make sure you reach out to me. You can either give me a phone call or shoot me an email. And that's pretty much all I have today. Thank you very much. And if I'm not mistaken, Aaron is after me. Thanks, guys.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. There we go. All right, I wanted to do a quick introduction to the security team. A few of them are new, but we've had a pretty stable crew for a while now. And some of you might not have met all of the members. Right now we have 9 members on our security team. And of course, these folks are going to be responding to pendant alarms, to wellness checks, to do unlocks. So I wanted you to be able to recognize some of these folks. We're organized into 3 shifts, so 9 members. That's 3 members per shift for our day crew. We have Joe Felix, he's our lead guard, Jane Tilson, and Connor White. For our evening shift, we have Teresa Catrera, Cheryl D'Amico, and Mason Anderson. And then for our night shift, we have Joshua Kilgore, Anita Glaze, and Robert Wagemaker. So, of course, these individuals are on the security team, and hopefully you'll be seeing them around campus or at the gate. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them, and either they'll know it or they'll get with me. I did want to talk about a new tool, not a new tool, but I wanted to give you information about an additional tool in our toolbox to responding to emergencies, both for you and helping us as well, and that is a wall pendant or a wall alert. I've got a couple of examples here on the screens. There are 2 different types. You can see the all red or the gray and red. And those are located on the walls. I also snapped a picture, that's near an exit where there's also a fire alarm. Please don't mix those 2 up. But these pendants function exactly like the pendants that you wear, except we know exactly where they are. Obviously, the ones you wear move around, but these we know exactly where they are. So the locations for these, there's 21 in East, 20 in West, and about 23 here in the clubhouse. They're going to be in almost all common areas, all public restrooms, and some main exits or exit/entrances. So obviously there's one right here in the auditorium by the thermostat. You can hit that. There's one, you know how the upstairs dining here is segmented into different rooms? There's basically a wall pendant for each room. So it's not just one for the whole thing. There's one in each room. There's one in the wood shop. There's one at the pool. There's one at the fitness center. There's one in the atrium. And like I said, the public restrooms. And I wanted to talk about when is it appropriate to use which device. The thing I'll say up front is don't hesitate and worry about what to do. Let's just do something and get the ball moving. But mostly it's going to depend on your location. Okay, if you're in your apartment or your cottage, your personal pendant or your cell phone are the 2 best options. Okay, obviously there's not going to be a wall pendant in there, but either cell phone or pendant is equally good if you're at home. All right, when you're out and about, it kind of is situational dependent. Okay, it's going to depend if you're in a common area like this, your pendant or the wall pendant, equally good. Okay, we'll receive, if it's your personal pendant, we'll receive the receiver that is nearest that caught that signal. So if I know that you live in East or in West, but I see an auditorium receiver, I know you're not home. Okay, so a wall pendant or your personal pendant, equally good, but the wall pendant, we know exactly, okay, something's happening in the auditorium. I will caution one warning, if you're visiting with somebody and something happens to them, either use their pendant or your phone. Don't hit your pendant, because that's going to send us in another direction. Okay, so if you're visiting with somebody in their apartment and something happens to them, their pendant, or just call us. don't hit your own pendant, because then that'll take us a while to figure out what happened there or where you're located. Of course, I'm available for questions, but just wanted to make you guys aware of this additional option. It's also a good idea if you're doing some sort of activity that you might trip and fall, or like the wood shop or like a exercise class in the atrium. It's a good idea to know where that wall pendant is beforehand, so as soon as something happens, you're not looking around, where is it? Oh, it's right there. Hit it, we're good. Help's on the way. And like I said, they are in most common areas. Again, please reach out to me for any questions you have about this or about the process or anything like that you might have. And then I wanted to share a little bit of activity that I get up to on the weekends. So this was back in March. We're in military intelligence, so a lot of times we're in a building with no windows. But in March, we were doing our weapons qualification. So we can share some pictures. The top picture, that's my company. And I can't remember what I'm telling them, but I don't look happy about it. But I think it turned out all right. And then there we are on our zero range. It was a lot of fun. So we were qualifying our rifles and our pistols. I was able to shoot about top 40% with rifle out of 232 people, but I tied for first with pistol. So it was a good day. Well, I will say they're all military intelligence, so it's not quite as impressive as you might think, but it still went pretty well. All right, I'll be followed by Mr. Whitehead. Thank you.
Afternoon, everybody. I'm Chad Whitehead, the culinary director. We had a busy month. So I hope we all enjoyed Easter brunch. We did a couple of things with that. We had the prime rib carving station. We also tried something new with a beverage station in the clubhouse with sherbet punch, cider, and infused water. Kind of help when you're in that long wait line for the host stand. You can at least sip on something, or if you have your grandchildren, you can have some sherbet punch. So we're gonna do some different things like that on a holiday to kind of make it a nicer and upscale. We did do some menu changes that generated a lot of passion, which was the good part. I was scared for my life a couple of days, but we got through it. I really challenged my team to put new items on the menu, and the big focus with, we talked about in culinary presentations about healthy variety of menu items. So I challenged my teams, like, we need some more menu items on there, go for it. What we learned really quick is do not touch that Caribbean salad. Message received. We tried that for lunch and dinner service. It was back on the menu very quickly. And that's hopefully to show y'all too, like, we do have power with the menus. If I hear something y'all really are passionate about and want back or anything like that, we're gonna make you happy. We also, with the vegetable wrap, we tried that new. We only had about 12 people order that item. So what we heard also during that time, not quite as passionate about the Caribbean salad, give us back the club wraps. Boom, today back on the menu. With that, with those grill items and the So Deli items, we are going to have some increased ticket times for a number of factors. The biggest factor is we have been low on staff, and you'll see a lot of new faces. And I'll get that to the slide with the onboarding, but with that, those stations, we have about 2 per station of new people trying to learn that. The only way you get better in a skilled position of that nature is to be in that kind of rush, and it takes time. It takes about 2 months to really own that station, that art. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. Then we are training, we're focused on them, walking them through it, but it takes time. But also what we're doing on the back of the house is really looking at menu items, like we're taking off the vegetable wrap, and we put the club back on, so because we noticed the grill item tickets were taking way too long. Hopefully with the club wrap, that'll take some pressure off the grill and lower those ticket times. Also, we have noticed at dinner that the walk-in buffet side is very low attendance. So, Chad, what are you doing about that? So we've talked to my sous chefs and chefs, and we're going to start implementing, you'll see this on the weekly menu very soon, Mountain View specials, or I'm still working on the title, but with that will be things only exclusive to that side on that buffet upstairs, will not be downstairs. Is that crab cakes? Is that a cobbler a la mode station? Different things to kind of elevate that area and bring more attendance up there. Because as you see, the bistro, we almost run out of tables every single time at night, and upstairs it's almost empty. So we're really focused on bringing that up, elevating, and getting more attendance upstairs to help the ticket times and seating downstairs. But we were still going to try different items on menu items to cycle through. Just like you love the Caribbean salad, how did you get to know that? We implemented a change and then you loved it. So we're going to still do that, but we're going to keep Caribbean as a staple. This is what will be posted in the communication room as well. These are frequently ordered items for March, and it's kind of ranked. So again, when I challenged my staff about the salads, we have the chef salad at the bottom that only sold 3 for the month of March. That was also like, is Caribbean salad elevated so much because it's been on the menu for 9 months or more? So we tried that, but we put it back on. This will again be posted in the communication room for everyone to see. I'll do that right after the meeting. Again, for the different items we added to the menu, just so you know, so you can try it, we did a Mexican chopped salad. We also heard from the high demand that people wanted a Hawaiian pizza. So we did a Hawaiian flatbread pizza. So that's available as well. Also, we can keep that prepped and ready so we can keep up with the demand on pizza where that they don't have to do different toppings and everything. They have it preset and ready to go with that flatbread, which helps us lower ticket times. And again, we had the roasted vegetable wrap, but the club wrap is back on. We also did a barbecue pork sandwich. And then instead of a chicken Philly, we went to a steak Philly. Some people were requesting that. And also healthy items. We heard a lot of people say, you know, with different diets and everything, I'm tired of chicken, I'm tired of salmon. So we put balsamic trout on there as well. And you could order that without balsamic if you want as well, another healthy fish option. And then we did a steakhouse open face burger. So that's not quite as special, but we're going to look at different things like that and different pizzas, different kind of specials that will rotate in the menu more often. I will say this past time we rolled a menu out, it was not a smooth process. I take ownership of that. Whenever something doesn't go smoothly, there needs a better process. So what we'll do in the beginning, have a lot more communication of rollout of menus. That way you have at least a week, you know, it's in your face by the stands. Next week's menu change, and you'll see that. We'll put on the link. We'll do a lot better of communication for any menu changes and rollouts moving forward. Again, when I was talking about we have a lot of new faces. We still need 4 line cooks, but we have 2 in process. 1 just started, and 1 is starting Thursday. Then we also might, hopefully soon, in the next day or 2, do another offer to a line cook, which will help tons. All 3 of these have therapeutic experience, over 5 years experience, and also senior facilities as well. So we love they have experience. That's going to be a godsend for us. Prep cooks, we hired 4 prep cooks. So most of those don't have many experience on lines and different things. Most of the experience that we have for prep cooks, we are mostly training them from the ground up. But in time with those areas, we want them to learn their positions and be ready for line cook positions if they ever come available. Same thing for sanitation, servers, just like I started. I wanted to be a prep cook. I worked in the sanitation and try to get as many hours as we can. We're restarting that culture, so we'll always have people ready and eager to move up. And that way we hopefully will never be in a position of low staff again, knock on wood. We only have a couple of positions for servers, more morning times we're looking at, but then again, it's about to be summer. So then we'll have a lot more high school servers that are looking for more hours, and hopefully then they're in college and they can work different shifts during the day. Medical diet aides, full-time we're full. We just need 2 part-times maybe to help out on weekends. So glad sanitation is fully staffed, servers are basically there, and medical diet aides, and we're getting very close on cooks. But with that, it takes time to train, get acclimated, so please give us a little patience on that, but we're getting very close. Again, the biggest thing we're talking about is recyclable, reusing. You'll see a lot more. We ordered tons more of the recycling green containers. They should always be available, and I've been talking to my staff to always make sure they're up front and available and present. Still got to reiterate that and make sure you're out there. If you ever want those, all you do is, even if you order a la carte from the Bistro Grill or So Deli, just tell me you want it in a green container. They'll put a note and they'll put that in the green container for you. With those, the recyclable. All you do is return those to the Bistro in Mountain View, and we'll wash them ourselves and put them back in circulation. But that helps with recycling. What do they look like? As always, I think someone played with my slide and put a face on there, but they're green containers. Yep.
I like that look better, Chad.
I think you did that. But our goal is to be the best culinary department in the company, and past that, give us some time. We're getting there. Thank y'all. Oh, and next is Tammy Stith, our administrator.
Chad, look at it up there. Chad, it looks good.
Wow, good afternoon, everybody. Good to see y'all. Good to see you. I'm Tammy Stith. I am the administrator for WBC and OBT, so it's great to be here. Just have some updates for you. Let's just, I'm not Kim, and I'm not Sherry.
Oh, boy.
Okay, I am Tammy. So I want to spotlight employees from time to time now. So I'm going to start with one of our great CNAs over in Willowbrook Court. And some of you, I'm sure, know this lady. Her name is Regina Trippeter. She's a certified nursing assistant, and she's been with us since December 5th, 2022. Now, Regina is one of those people that never meets a stranger. When you meet Regina, you will feel like you have always known her. She'll walk up, Miss Tammy, and give you a big old hug, and her big smile. She keeps this positive attitude, just contributes to the morale of our team. So I just want to thank Regina for her positive, kind, and compassionate demeanor and attitude towards our staff and towards all of our residents. So thank you, Regina. Also, in OBT and WBC, we're going to have a family fun day. And that is going to be April 26th, and that's Saturday, 2 to 4 p.m. for our OBT and WBC residents and families. So we're going to have a lot of fun with the photo booth, tasty appetizers, puzzle piece pastries, live music, custom headbands at the headband buffet, an egg hunt. So if you would like to volunteer, please reach out to Zeke or Gabby over in OBT. They would love to have you come. Also, you know, our OBT is our assisted living. Paige, Paige just did a stand-up for you so you can see who she is. But if you would like to take a tour, please contact Paige, our Director of Assisted Living. It's paige.hatcher@axlife.org. She has available rooms, and she is ready for you. And so, Lisa, I see you back there. Lisa Peterson, our DON. Lisa has gone out and gotten her administrator's license. So we want to give a big congratulations to Lisa. Now, that's a wonderful thing. However, Lisa is taking a promotion, and she's going to work at one of our sister facilities in Pensacola. So she'll be leaving us in May. So, Lisa, stand up. Everybody can see you. Please, we want to thank you for your unwavering support and all that you've done for our WBC residents and families. Now what? Okay, so now we're recruiting. So, so I want you to stay tuned for announcements for a new director of nursing. You know, we've been seeking in recruiting this position, so I've talked to a lot of people, and I think we've got it narrowed down. So an official announcement will follow shortly. So thank you during your patience during this time. And now it's time for Scott.
Sherry, because
Sherry Wilder. Come on up, Sherry, from rehab. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to have to rewind this a little bit here. Give me just a second. All right, so I am Sherry Wilder, the Director of Fitness and Rehab. And I just have a couple quick announcements for you guys. Firstly, I just want to say thank you to all of you for just the very wonderful comments and feedback that I get on a constant basis about how well you are appreciating my fitness and rehab team members. We really appreciate that feedback, and word of mouth goes a long way. So thank you for that. And because of that popularity of my team, we are in a need to grow our staff. So I do have some staffing updates for you guys. First of all, many of you may know our current rehab administrative assistant. Her name is Emma, and she is going to be leaving us in a couple of weeks. She's going to be pursuing a little different path with her college career, and that's taking her away of being available to us here in our rehab department. So we have hired a new rehab administrative assistant. Her name is Amanda Miller, and she is starting with us on Monday. So we're very excited about that. She'll have a couple weeks where she'll be able to train with Emma before Emma leaves. But welcome her if you get a chance to come by our department, and just give her a warm welcome. Also, our speech therapy department has been one person, Anna Carmichael. Many of you may already know her and have worked with her. But as one person for this huge community here, her caseload has just grown, and we recognized a need to add an additional team member. So we have hired a PRN speech therapist. Her name is Reagan Thomas. She started with us yesterday, and you will love her as much as you love Anna. She's wonderful, comes to us with good experience, and so she'll be a new face out and about. We do have some posted positions we are actively looking to fill. One is for a PRN physical therapist, because in the rehab department, you guys have probably noticed that we are busy, and we are needing to add some more physical therapy staff to our team members here. So that position is posted. And in our fitness department, y'all love Melissa and Emily. Classes are well attended. We appreciate that. As you know, we've developed our personal training program over the last year, and that's becoming very popular. And these two ladies are very busy all day long. So we also have a part-time fitness trainer position posted, and we're in the process of interviewing a few candidates for that. So that will allow us to provide you with more class opportunities and more opportunities for the one-on-one personal training. So I'm very excited about that. Okay, and then the other thing I wanted just to highlight right now is one of our specialty programs. And this is our pain recovery program. We've talked about this in the past, but it's been something we haven't really highlighted over the last year or so. But it is a program that ACT's created to allow residents who have chronic pain for over 3 months to receive some educational materials from our therapists. And this would be in conjunction with some skilled therapy ongoing. So if you came to us with any problem and you're currently on services for therapy, but you do have chronic pain issues, we can provide some of those educational materials to you in conjunction with the therapy you're receiving already. So, you know, pain is something that when it's chronic, seems to be always on our minds, right? But what we've learned is that usually pain starts with an acute process, some initial injury or some initial disease process that begins the pain, but then your brain kind of gets stuck in a loop of recognizing that pain on an ongoing basis. So the educational materials that we provide help you identify that and try to break that cycle of that loop so that it's not so much in the forefront, and you may even realize that, well, maybe I wasn't even really having pain, it's just something that I was stuck in, if that makes sense. So when we have issued out these educational materials, the residents who participated in the past, they've reported that they actually have a reduced pain ratings. They have reduced feelings of being controlled by pain. They have an increased positive outlook overall, and they have an increased ability to enjoy life despite their pain. So these are things that are, we really want to provide for you to continue that wellness, initiative that we're driving to address that chronic pain. As you know, we have a weekly rehab chat on Fridays at 12:30. We have a therapist that is over at the fitness center every Friday at 12:30. Tomorrow, Tara will be there, and she is very skilled in this area. So if you have questions, you're welcome to drop by and talk to Tara about that. Also, she will be presenting our rehab presentation for May, and that's on May the 7th at 2 o'clock here in the auditorium. And we're going to do a presentation on the pain recovery program. So that will also give you some more information. Always, you are welcome to stop by our department, talk with me or any of the therapists if you have questions about this specialty program or any of our other specialty programs that we offer. So that's all I have, and
Sherry, why don't you leave that slide?
I'm going to leave it right there, and then Scott's up next, and he can do whatever. So thank you so much.
As I was looking at her bullet points, I thought a couple glasses of wine do the same thing, don't they? They help with all that. Just a couple, though. All right, so we're going to start with this. So we won a couple of awards recently at the ACTS Leadership Conference, Annual Leadership Conference. To the left, we have our 2 awards that we won. They were for preparedness for unusual situations. This survey, the annual survey, went out a couple of weeks after the hurricane came through here. We were lucky and blessed that it didn't hit us hard, but I think we were well prepared for it, and you all said that you felt we were well prepared, so thank you very much. We scored the highest out of all the communities. As well as the second award is for least amount of incentives used. So our sales team, we have a big wait list, obviously. We rarely have to give an incentive to move someone in. But there's a time or two where we might want to move someone in at the end of a month versus waiting for the next month. Sometimes we might give them 1 free month's rent or something, so that counts as an incentive. So we won that. And then this achievement, the crystal looking achievement, was at the sales conference. That's this week. Our sales team is there right now, and they won the award for highest independent living occupancy rate at 99.85%. So that's good. But it all boils down to you all too, because you're the best referral source of every community. So as long as we keep you happy, you're going to keep telling your friends this is a great place to live, and people will want to live here. So we love that. A couple of sales updates since Julie is out of town at the conference. Julie and Lawanda are at the the annual sales meeting right now, and they'll be back tomorrow. So some move-ins to Lanier Village Estates. In March, we had the Wilders, Diana Gustafson, and Jane Watkins. Anyone in attendance here from those 3? Okay. In April, we had Barbara Gerhard, apartment 2109. And she usually has a drum roll or something playing, but 263, so we actually went up by about 8. It was 255, I think, last month. So 8 were added to our wait list. Now this is something Live Now. They came last week, and they gave basically a 101 session on what it's like to live in a community like ours. So these were 42 prospects who had never been to an event here at Lanier Village Estates. not on the wait list yet, but are interested in joining the wait list. So 42 came, they were able to hear from our team and some residents, and then they had lunch. So it was a really successful event. This is going to be something that the sales team is going to donate to the community for the dog park. I don't know why it's jumping ahead. For the dog park, a gift from the sales team, one of those teeter-totters for dogs, and then a tunnel that they can run through, a dog tunnel. So those will be coming soon, but they should be fun for our dogs. From Home Services, we have a couple of announcements. They are now occupying, well, May 5th, it looks like. As of May 5th, they'll be occupying the bank space on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 to 4. Space is limited, as all of you know, for office space, for an enlarged gym that we need, and some other areas. But the bank was nice enough to allow us to use their space a couple days a week when they're not using it. So you'll see a sign out front right by the ATM machine, and then that office will be, there will be someone in that office from 9 to 4 on Mondays and Wednesdays. So this is an opportunity to come meet the staff, ask questions, anything else you might need. If you're a client of Home Services and have not returned your acknowledgement of increase of services, please do it as soon as possible. This was placed in all Hacks Home Services independent living clients' in-house mailboxes. And then call the office or stop by during office hours to receive another copy if you need one. Some life engagement updates. As you know, Vicki is in Italy as I speak. She's there until May 2nd. Please reach out to Sue if you need anything. And then she's got some announcements here about going green. We're going to be trying to limit or lessen the postcard reminders, as well as putting out as much paper as part of our sustainability committee. So we're going to be trying to do that. And then a big party coming up, the Kentucky Derby party, is coming up soon. And actually, Vicki emailed me at 3 o'clock this morning. It did not wake me up. I'm sure you're all concerned. And she sent me a beautiful picture of Florence and gave me an update of where she is and fun she's having. She said the hotel rooms are very small, which is probably some who've traveled there know, but she's doing some walking tours today and enjoying the wine, obviously. So the People's Choice Awards go to, drum roll, all right, here we go, and Sue's gonna help with this. She's gonna be handing out awards if the winners are here in attendance. In 4th place, we had Justine Thompson in People's Motor Speedway. Justine, are you here?
Let everybody know we had 19 people that participated.
19 participated.
You know, with wonderful talent. So,
Yeah, there's Justine right down the aisle.
Justine,
Yep, straight ahead. In 3rd place, we had Judy Newsom, Eat More Rabbit. That was cute. That was cute. That was clever for sure. A play on Chick-fil-A, right? Second place, Karen Harden, Peeps Fairy Garden. And the winner, Maria Wilkerson, Peeps Family. No? Sue will be delivering that to Maria. She couldn't be here today. So great job, everybody, all 19 that participated. What a fun event. Now I'm going to move on to some capital information. So here's the agenda. We're going to talk, I'll be sharing with you how the Acts Obligated Group projects cash flow and uses that cash flow, how the capital planning process works, the capital funding for community projects, Lanier Village Estates projected capital projects, and some projects that we're hoping to get done this year. So cash flow activity. Resales and proceeds is $181.3 million. That's what it made up of. Operating surplus of $7.9 million. So you add those together and you get $189.2 million. And the uses of that, first and foremost, we have to cover our debt service. That's $67.5 million. And then payments on line of credits. Then we have ordinary capital spending and we have cash and reserves. That totals the same amount as the two above. Now, an additional, in very small print down there, is additional capital projects in the amount of $17.8 million to be funded by project funds. So throughout the year, there's an opportunity to possibly refinance some debt, and out of that, we get some money that could be put towards capital funds as well. So here's how it works. Community leadership meets with the regional director of property management to update the 5-year capital plan. We do this every year. It's an ever-changing 5-year capital plan, but we do it once a year. And then Stephen and I and some others, when we need items we realize we need more than others, we reprioritize. The executive director then submits their top requests for the upcoming year in December. The finance team meets with corporate real estate and operations in January to finalize and balance the capital budget. And once the budget is balanced, the first quarter funds are released. That has already taken place, the first quarter funds. Funds are scheduled for release each quarter based on cash flow activity. If we are meeting our projected move-ins, the funds are released as they were scheduled. If we are not meeting quarterly move-in projections, a portion of the scheduled release of capital funds can be pushed out, delayed. Each community has a small contingency fund for unexpected needs. Ours seem to always happen to be air conditioners and other items like that we use our contingency funds, along with our capital funds that we have. We put out a dollar amount that we hope to have to spend in capital towards air conditioners. Always goes over it seems, and then we have to use our contingency dollars. The Vice President of Operations has an additional contingency fund for the region, again for unexpected and uncontrollable expenses and surprises. The real estate, a third level, has a corporate contingency fund that are utilized for unforeseen emergencies, that when we go over budget and have used all of our community contingency funds and the Vice President has used their contingency funds, we will go to the real estate department and ask for additional funds. If a community capital project comes in under budget, the excess funds can be reassigned to other projects, which happens often. We do our best, but we're scheduling and giving the budget and quotes 6 months to a year in advance of when we're going to actually do the projects. Sometimes they go up in price, sometimes they go down in price. So sometimes we have extra funds and we're able to use those on other projects. So some capital projects for 25 that we submitted for and are in the process of working on. Oak Ridge Terrace and Willowbrook Court finishes and flooring spread out over 25 and into 26. We're hoping to start with Willowbrook Court in 25 and then move into Oak Ridge Terrace in 26. The resident car wash has been completed. That was one of our capital projects. The Koi Pond Bridge just needs to be refinished, some new wood in some places, just a new coating, et cetera, just to make it really safe and look better. We're hopeful for the fourth quarter of this year. A fall prevention system that was identified during a safety inspection is underway now, and we hope to get it done this quarter, second quarter. Attic access doors, something you would never see, but our maintenance team would, and people who come out here to work. Again, it was found that they were unsafe, and some of them were, and we're getting those fixed as well, or replaced. Willowbrook Court bladder scanners, we're hoping to purchase this quarter. That will help in identifying urinary tract infections or urinary retention much quicker than having to send someone out. We can do it in-house and start treating them. That'll be great. Some other projects, Willowbrook Court Smart Vital sign machines, they have been ordered. That will allow our team in Willowbrook Court, they're state-of-the-art vital sign machines. Air conditioning systems campus-wide, we try to spread it out over 4 quarters, but some become an emergency, so we have to get those replaced quicker. Landscaping, various things, the train garden, the resident gardens, Willowbrook Court resident garden, the East Cottages, and the Lake Trail. We've got money to do that this year, and we're going to spread it out over all 4 quarters. Housekeeping equipment has been ordered. Shonda and Lupe and their team needed some housekeeping equipment. It was important. That has now been ordered. It was ordered on April 14th. And OBT Willowbrook Court memory care, low voltage fence work, so that the fence in the outside area is self-contained and it's safe, so that our memory care residents can go out there. We know that they're safe. There's no way for them to elope or escape. Elope, not as in getting married, but. Other projects likely in 2025. So there's other larger projects that will be happening around our community as well, either being funded by and managed by Axe Construction or funded by donor dollars. 3 examples likely in 2025 are a couple of EV charging stations near the main clubhouse entrance. The parking lot work, first at East and then West, west likely in 2026. We're hoping to get some east parking lot work done in 2025. And then the Chapel Garden project that we've talked about a couple of times through use of donor dollars. So we handle the projects on site that where our team is able to. Some are much bigger than we want to be able to handle, so Axe Construction is involved with oversight. Stephen and his team watch it from here. So that's a good example of capital projects coming down the pike. Likely to be more. Some of those might be pushed out to next year. Others might have to come in because of priority. But just wanted to share that with you. And again, what I suggest is either watch this, ask for a paper copy from Julia, send questions into your floor rep, and I can answer them through the Ask the Director versus doing it here. Guest apartment. So the process of how a guest apartment gets added into a community. Capital dollars are asked for. You didn't notice guest apartment on that list, did you? We didn't ask for it this year. We thought there was higher priorities. We will be likely asking for it next year. So capital dollars need to be asked for to get a guest apartment ready. The apartment size and location comes available. We have to assess if it's an appropriate apartment for a guest apartment. The ideal size is a studio or a one bedroom, not one of our larger apartments. And then it's taken out of sellable inventory and we renovate it to the current guest apartment standards. That's where some funds need to be used. I did explore, and you probably heard the rumor, 2408 becoming a guest apartment. We were close to pulling the trigger. We went through all the process of getting pricing to bring it up to standard. I even thought about dividing it into a one bedroom and then a guest apartment. But with air conditioning units and some other things and the fire marshal, and we just couldn't do it with that. And the renovation came much higher than we could afford to do as a guest apartment. So we are selling 2408. I apologize, but we will get an east guest apartment as soon as I can. Sardis connector groundbreaking. I went to this last week. It was Thursday of last week. It was interesting. A lot of the speakers were there. Our county commissioner was there, Billy Powell, and Georgia Department of Transportation folks were there, and then a lot of the key players in our area. And it's going to be a big project. It's only 3.5 miles at the most, but it's going to be a lot of work. So Commissioner Powell, I stopped and met him and talked with him after, and he knows our concerns about the widening of it and how far the widening goes past the East Cottage entrance. So he knows, and he'll be a spokesperson for us. He said he would come out here anytime if we wanted him. He's a great man. But that was fun to be at. It's good to get to know some of the local players. Scam Central, not much this month. I didn't have any, no reports of it, and I couldn't find anything online of anything new that I hadn't already reported on. So all I'm saying is be vigilant and question everything. If something sounds too good to be true, it likely is. Moving into okay, not okay. A resident chooses to unplug IT or other equipment that was installed by Axe. Not okay. It happened this month, and then we get calls from a resident saying this or that isn't working, and we go there and find out, well, did you happen to pull? Yeah, we did. We didn't think it was needed, or whatever the case was. So if we have something plugged into your wall or outlet or something, just leave it. If you have questions, ask us the questions. A resident, guest, or team member parks in an unmarked and unpainted spot in one of our parking lots. That's okay. It's not, if it's got a painted curb, if it's got a number, if it's got visitor written on the ground, we can't park there. But if it's unmarked, anyone can park in those spots, unmarked. A resident, visitor, or team member parks their car under a portico and leaves it there for hours. It's not okay. I tried to hide this car, so I'll move on from this one quick before you identify who it is. But it's a real car, it's in the front, and it was there for a few hours. Luckily, Aaron and his team didn't put the boot on it. A resident or team member notifies our wellness office when they notice a fellow resident is acting differently or hasn't been seen in a while. Okay, very important. You all know each other. You know if you've seen your neighbor. If you haven't seen your neighbor, you likely know if they're in town or out of town. Anything unusual, you let us know. Let Julia know, let the wellness office know. Just let any of the leaders in our community know, and we'll act on it. We'll do a wellness check to make sure they're okay or that they are out of town. A resident or team member opens the link on their computer or phone from someone they don't know. Not okay. Happens. ACTS sends them out to us as team members, and we get reports on that. And if you do it more than once, you get to sit through Relias class, which is training, like 2-hour session of making sure you don't do it again. So, and who knows? We all often email each other. You know that something, if I was to open something that isn't safe, it somehow could get to you, and then it sends it to all your contacts, and we don't want any of that happening, so just be very careful. And like I said, with questions, because this has gone way over, but it's been a great meeting with great information by my team, hasn't it? Yeah. Thank you. I will ask Chaplain Duke to come up. Oh, you borrowed my seat, huh? By the way, I stole his seat where he was sitting earlier. So I'll ask him to come up and close us out in our Grove of Remembrance.
How many of you have had a moment just outside the auditorium here with the Grove of Remembrance since it's been installed? Just to sit and stand or look at the names, yeah. So we've done this now once before, where we have this community remembering for those who have been added to the Grove of Remembrance in the past year, and that's what we take time to do today. In life and death, there are some moments, some relationships so significant that we must pause and remember. And that's what we do today together. In the course of our lives, we meet people who have such a profound influence on the way we live that we never forget them. We easily share stories of how they loved us, what they taught us, the difference they've made in our lives. Some we marry, some become lifelong friends, others mentors. All are worthy of being remembered. Today, we reflect on those who have been added over the last year to our Grove of Remembrance, originally dedicated in 2023. And we invite you to pause from time to time just outside the auditorium and to see all those whom so many here have loved. Now, let us remember. Larry Eugene Anderson. James Frank Bagwell. Walker I. Baumgartner. Revis Butler. Frank P. Cohn, Jr. Elaine Dickens. Donna M. Fitz. Larry Fitz. Judith Dorothy Franklin. Louis Bo Herndon. Carolyn Jacobs. Robert Delano joins. Alan Werner. Harry C. Whitehead. If you have loved someone who has lived here at LVE, we would invite you to consider filling out one of our forms in the communication room off the clubhouse, putting that in an envelope and leaving it there for Asden Johnson to collect. And she will see to it that that leaf is added in remembrance of your beloved. Let us pray. Loving God, this day we honor the love you have shared with us through those we have placed in our grove of remembrance. We remember their tenderness, courage, kindness, and sacrifices they made so we could live and flourish in this life. May your Holy Spirit rest upon this grove, and your loving presence be known to each person who stands and gazes with tears of joy and sadness upon those they remember. We pray in your name. Amen. Thank you for coming to our forum and to our Grove of Remembrance ritual. And we pray that your evening will be blessed and a time of refreshing with the fellowship that you experience at dinner.
Thank you all.